right. So good morning to you, my dear students. It's an honor to be coming your way once again. And we'll go over our lessons on MS Word, and then we'll continue look at a few things deeper into the interface of the MS Word. So I'll go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll take it out from there. And so here we are. We have our MS Word. And now, at least we are all aware that when we take the MS Word, we understand it is a word processing application, which allows us to create a variety of documents like letters, flyers, reports. It allows us to do a lot more of word processing projects. And when we start the Word application, we are greeted with the start screen, which appears, and it allows us to either create a new document by choosing from a list of templates that are usually or are always located on the right-hand side. And then if it is not a new document you want to create, we can open an existing document from the left-hand side of the start screen, which appears. On the left-hand side, we see the recently opened documents, and then we can open our document from that direction within the app. Indeed, the last lesson, we looked at the page overview, the blank page overview, and we were able to identify with how the Office Word looks like. And so some of the things we mentioned the last time include the ribbon. And this morning, I want us to look closer or go into a little bit more detail of what to expect whenever we open the ribbon or whenever we encounter the ribbon. Indeed, the ribbon contains multiple tabs, each with different or several groups of tools. The ribbon provides us with tools that enable us to complete common tasks. When I say common task, we'll be getting into that pretty soon. Now, by default, when you open the Word, we see 9 distinct tabs in addition to the help tab, if I may call it so. These 9 tabs, I say by default because depending on what you are doing and the environment you create for working on MS Word 2016, you are likely to have more tabs opening for you. So we have the default 9 tabs being the File tab, the Home tab, the Insert tab, Design, the Layout, the References, the Mailings tab, Review tab, the View tab, then finally we have the Help. Now, so when we open Word, the very first tab that is always open for us, active for us, is the Home tab. The Home tab is always actively open, and it enables us to have access to some commonly used commands for working with Word: copying, pasting, formatting text, aligning paragraphs, choosing the document styles. All these things we are able to do quickly with ease within the Home tab. And as I said a few seconds ago, the Home tab is selected by default whenever we open Word. And so, as you can see in the picture below here, we have the Home tab selected, as you can see. And here we have a list of common commands that we are able to execute within our document. Then the next to the Home tab, on the right-hand side, we have the Insert tab, And this one allows us, as the word goes, or as the term is, it enables us to put in or insert pictures, charts, tables, shapes, cover pages, and a lot more into our document. In other words, when you create a document and you feel that there's the need for you to communicate with your people using pictures or using shapes and stuff like that, which cannot be inserted into the document by just merely typing, we rely on the Insert tab to do the job for us. And it is indeed a very powerful tab. Then beyond that, we have the Design tab. And the Design tab gives us access to a variety of designing tools, including document formatting, effects on page borders, and these give our document a very polished look as the need arises. Then we have the Layout tab. The Layout tab allows us to change the print formatting of our document, how our document that we want to print, how we want it to look like, the margin of our, the width of our margin, the page orientation, the page breaks, and more. These things that we may want to take a look at, we are able to work on them when we click on the Layout tab. And these tools are helpful for preparing a document for printing, Then we have the Reference tab. When you click on the References tab, it allows us to add footnotes if we want. If we want to do citations or create a table of contents or have captions or even a bibliography. These are basically tools that we normally use when we want to compose academic papers. You know, in academic papers, you may want to do citations of authorities, and then at the end of your write-up, you may want to do or show the bibliography, and we can rely on the References tab to get the job done. Going forward, we also have the Mailings tab, and the Mailings tab is used for composing letters, address envelopes, and create labels. It is useful when you are mailing a large number of letters. So we have the Mailings tab here, and it has controls or commands that enable us to handle letters. Then we continue to the right of the Mailings tab, we have the Review tab. And this is a very powerful editing feature, featuristic tab, in the sense that the Review tab has features that enable us to add comments and track the various changes that have been done on the document. These features make it easy to share and collaborate on documents. In other words, with the Review tab, you are able to, you are given access to features that you can rely on if you share your document and you are collaborating with somebody to type or to create the document. You know, you can be working with somebody on the same document. Maybe the person is away from you, the person is at a different location, working on a different computer, but both of you may be working on the same document. And here we would rely on the Review tab to be able to do that. Then we have the View tab. In the View tab, we are able to switch between different views of our document. We are able to split the screen. We are able to view two parts of the document at a go. We are able to use we are able to enable our ruler. We are able to, show different windows, etc. And these tools are also helpful when you are preparing the document for printing. Then we have what we call the contextual tabs, and they are under format. And these usually appear on the ribbon when you are working with certain items such as pictures and tables. These tabs contain extra special tools that enable us to format the pictures and then the tables that we are working with as and when the need arises. Indeed, we spoke about the quick access toolbar. We spoke about the quick access toolbar. We now know that the quick access toolbar can be located on the upper right-hand side, upper left-hand side of the screen, the window. And we know that by default, the quick access toolbar will display or show the save button, the undo button, and then the repeat button for the commands that are associated with them. Then we can add other tools depending on our preference. So for us to be able to add more commands, the procedure is just simple. We go through the process of clicking on the drop-down arrow, which is on the right-hand side of the quick access toolbar, and this one, we're able to just click on this. And when you click on it, then the commands will appear as we can see over here on the screen. And then we select by clicking which ones we want to introduce to the quick access toolbar. And then after doing that, they all appear at the quick access toolbar for us. So that is how we are able to change or add the various commands that we wish to add to our quick access toolbar. Then we have the ruler at the working area, surrounding the working area. And the ruler, we have it ideally at the top of the page and then on the left-hand side of the page. And this ruler is to help us adjust our document with precision. If we want, we can hide the ruler and create more space for typing or writing or working around. To do that, we simply have to go, or we can equally also hide the ruler. And to do that, we simply have to go to the View tab. And when we go to the View tab here, we will see the ruler with a checkbox beside it. So when we click on the checkbox and it ticks, it means that we want the ruler to show. However, if we want to have enough or more space than we may have when the ruler is available, we can come back to the View tab again and click on the ruler again, the checkbox by the ruler, and it would cause the ruler to auto disappear or be hidden. Apart from the ruler, we also have by default 3 different views that are displayed for us as far as our Word is concerned. When Word 2016 is opened, we have the option to look at 3 different ways in which the document may be displayed for us. These 3 different views are the ones that we can see at the bottom here. This one is the read mode on the left-hand side, the read mode. And then the middle one, which is by default always selected, is the print mode, In other words, the document will be displayed as it will be when it is printed. So we have the print mode. And then we have the web mode, where if we click on this extreme right command button, then the document is going to be displayed in a manner that it will look as when we display it on a web browser. So if it is the read mode, the document is going to look somewhat like this, and we are going to have an arrow in the middle section, and this arrow is what we can click on to move to different pages within the document. However, the default one is the print mode, and this is where we actually can see where we will create our documents. We would have page breaks. We'll have the outline just depicting how the document will look when we print it out. Then finally, we have the web layout, and this view removes page breaks and helps us to visualize how our document will be displayed if it were being displayed on a web page. It has no page breaks. So one basic difference between the web page view and then the print mode is the existence or the removal of the page breaks. This is the page break. Okay, right. So when we want to start working, we would have our insertion point. The insertion point is where the cursor is at a particular time. Now, this is a vertical line. It blinks all the time, and it indicates where characters can be inserted into the document at any point in time. So where the cursor is, or where the insertion point is where whatever you type is going to appear. So we are able to do a few other things using the position of the insertion point. For example, when we press the space bar where the insertion point is, it causes more space to be created in between two words. Then, if we want to create a paragraph, we are also able to use the insertion point. Where we introduce the insertion point, when we click the enter button or key on the keyboard, then we are able to create a new paragraph, just because we know where the insertion point is. And then sometimes we're able to put the insertion point manually after a word. And when you put it after a word, that is by moving your mouse to where exactly you want it to be in the document. We are able to do a few other things with the insertion point. For example, you want to simply want to click the location where the text you wish to place is. You put the insertion point over there by moving your mouse to that point in the document and clicking, and the insertion point appears over there, and you are able to type or add additional information. Apart from that, we are able to select document by starting from the insertion point. So when you want to select characters or items within your document, you move your insertion point to the beginning of where you want to select, and then you click and drag your mouse across the characters that you wish to select. Now, when you do that, after selecting up to the end of where you want to select, you now release your mouse button and the characters would have been selected for you. Now, when they are selected, you see that you have the option of whether to highlight the text that you have selected, or whether you want to delete it, or whether you want to copy it, or whatever you want to do. Once you have selected the text, you are ready to use it, or you are ready to issue extra commands at the point. Now, the moment you select text, then you will see that a toolbar would appear, and this toolbar would give you extra functions. For example, the text that you have selected, you are able to change the font type, you are able to change the font size of what you have selected, you are able to click to make it bold or to underline the text that you have selected. It all begins by what? By selecting the text through the use of your mouse. If it is text that you want to delete, then after you have highlighted it, then the next thing you do is to just click on the delete key on your keyboard, and then the text which you have selected will be deleted. However, if you did not select any text, and you wish to delete a certain section of your document, you can just click on the area where you want to start deleting from, the left-hand side of the word you want to start deleting. When you put the insertion point there and you click on the delete key, or you continue to hit on the delete key over and over, the characters will be deleted to the right-hand side of the insertion point. All characters to the right-hand side of the insertion point will be deleting as you continue to click on the keyboard, the delete key on the keyboard. We should take note that this is different from using the backspace. So for the backspace, if you are using the backspace key, you are going to put the key, the insertion point, still in between two words, but this time around, you want to remove words or clear the path to the left of the character or left of the insertion point. So if it is to delete, the characters being deleted will be to the right-hand side of the insertion point. But if you are using the backspace, then the characters to the left-hand side of the insertion point is what are going to be cleared from your document. Now, when we copy a section of our document, we are able to either copy it. When we highlight a certain section of our document, we are able to copy what we have highlighted or what we have selected, and then we are able to paste it at a different section. Now, when we copy, the act of copying implies that we have a copy of, or we take an image of whatever it is we have selected, which is going to be kept on a clipboard, and then we move to a different location within the document, and then we have it pasted over there. Now, the process is such that what we have highlighted will remain, a copy of it will remain where it was originally, but just that the same item will now be reintroduced at a different section within our document. So when you highlight and select text, and then you click on the copy command, this is the copy command which can be found in the home tab. Now, when you click on this, whatever it is that you selected would now be kept in memory on the clipboard. And then when you move to the area where you want to paste it, you now click on the paste command, and then this is the paste command showing the clipboard. And then whatever it is that is kept or stored on the clipboard will now be introduced at the new location where you want it to be. Now, we can also have, so as we can see, we highlight this and then we copy it, and where we want to paste it is where we introduce the insertion point. And so once the insertion point has been brought here, we can now go ahead and paste it by using the paste command, or by right-clicking and then selecting P, right-clicking and selecting paste, or we can just use Control and V in order to, on the keyboard, in order to paste what we have copied after highlighting. And closely associated with copy and paste is the cut and paste. When we talk about a cut and paste, it is like the text which we have selected, we wish to remove it from its original position so that we can place it or introduce it at a different location within the document. So what happens is that once we select the text, we click on cut, or we right-click and select cut, or we use Control X on the keyboard, and it will remove the characters that we have selected and place them on a clipboard. When this is done, we now move to the area where we would want to paste it. and then we click on the paste button, and it will now be introduced at this new location for us. The command for cutting is depicted by a pair of scissors, and this can also be found close to the copy command, and both of them are within the home tab. So we should be able to identify that. So assuming we selected this document starting from "she began as a researcher" up to the word "president," we select this word, these words in the sentence, then we click on the cut command, and we introduce our insertion point close to the word "from." Then we click on the paste command, and the whole of what we have selected will now be introduced at this new location. Now, we are also able to change the look of our fonts, in that we are able to provide a variety of fonts. We are able to get and use a variety of fonts from within the MS Word 2016. And this can still be found within the Home tab. Now, within the Home tab, when we want to maybe change the way our the font style we're using, we can just click on the font style drop-down pin, and then it will show different options for us, and we'll be able to select which one we want to use. The process is practically very easy and simple. So we begin by selecting the text which we wish to change. The text that you have typed, you select it, and then after you have selected it, on the Home tab, you click on the drop-down arrow next to the font box. When you click on the drop-down arrow next to the font box, this one here, when you click on this, the menu of font styles will appear. This is the menu of the font styles. It will appear, and then you move the mouse over the list and then select the one that you like to use. When you do that, the font will change in the document. Then, if we wish to change the size of the text, I'll select the font size. Then first of all, you start by selecting the text you wish to either increase in font size or decrease in font size. So you select this, and then you select the words, and then you come to Home tab, and then you look for the desired font size you want to use by clicking on the font size drop down arrow. When you do that, then the different font sizes will be displayed for you, and then you select the one that you wish to use. I would want to ask a question here. Now, what is the least or the minimum font size that we have in Word? I want you to show your answer in the Google Classroom by typing what is the least or the smallest font size, and what is the biggest font size that you can have in Word. I want you to find out and then write your answer on the Google Classroom platform beneath this presentation. Beyond that, we are also able to select font color. In other words, we are able to change the color of our fonts, and we are able to do that also within the Home tab, or within the ribbon of the Home tab. We are able to change the color of our fonts. We do that by, first of all, as before, we have to select the text which we wish to change its color. We first of all select that, and then on the Home tab, we click on the font color drop-down arrow. This is the font color drop-down arrow that has been selected over here. And then we are able to have different colors appearing, and then we are able to select the color of our choice. And once you select the color of your choice, then the selected text will now assume the color that you wish to have. Now, at this point, I want to explain that there is a difference between the term select and then the term highlight. When we talk about selection and we talk about highlighting, the first one for select is like you move your mouse, you click and move your mouse across a group of words and they are selected, waiting for further action. However, in the highlighting of the selected text, we will now click on the highlighter in order to highlight, and then maybe you want whatever it is that you have selected to stand out in your document so that more attention can be drawn to it. You may just decide to select it and then highlight it for further action. Now, we have bold, italic, and underline. In the Google Classroom platform, after you have answered the question on how to, the highest and then the minimum font sizes available within Word, I want you to explain in your own words what we mean by bold, italic, and underline. Bold, italic, and underline. And I want to see your answer in the Google Classroom on Friday, the 4th of June, 2021, before 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., I will take it that you did not come in to listen to the lecture on time. However, you are free to keep listening to this lecture in order to go over the studies. And this is where our lesson for today would, this is where time will permit us to end our lesson for today. However, in a very few days' time, we'll be continuing from where we are, and then as we prepare for our quiz 1. Thank you very much for coming. I remain your favorite humble servant, Dr. Prince Eden Jakwasu. Thank you.